The crazy thing is that this is an actual reality. Like someone that doesn't know how to code can literally sit in front of a computer with high agency and just figure it out. And so that's exactly what we're doing. What's going on, guys? My name's Kev, and so far on this channel, I showed you guys how to build a whole bunch of apps. We built this CalAI app together. We built multiple AI agents and AI automations together. And I even showed you guys how I built my own SaaS that's going to be a multi-million-dollar project this year called Social Wolf. All of these were done using no-code tools. And in today's video, guys, I have a very, very exciting project that we're going to be working on together. And what we're going to be building today, guys, is a 3D video game. And here we are on Twitter under an account called Levels.io. And Levels.io is one of the OG no-code programmers in the entire world. And here you can see all of the different projects that he's made with different types of revenue. And we've already built a couple of them together. We've built photo AI, we've built interior AI, but in today's video, we're going to be rebuilding flypeter.com. Now, Flypeter was his first 3D video game that allows users to essentially just fly their own little airplane and kill other airplanes that are flying around. He also added a payment feature where you can purchase an F-16, which moves a lot faster and shoots a lot more powerful bullets. And so in today's video, guys, we're going to be using the Replit agent to rebuild that exact project. And so right now, that's exactly what we're going to do, A to Z. I don't know how we're going to build it, and we're going to do this together. So without further ado, please like and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to build your own AI agency or your own AI SaaS and grow your socials, then join the No Code Creator Academy, because that is what we do over at the No Code Academy. We help you build SaaS and grow it. But without further ado, let's dive right in. So now that we're on the Replit agent, I'm going to do a little bit of planning before we actually make our first prompt. All right, guys, so I just cooked up the first prompt. I think it's really, really good because this tech stack is ideally what we wanted to do anyways, which was, Three.js, JavaScript or TypeScript frameworks, and some Node.js for backend logic if needed. So that's really, really good. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this prompt. We're going to head over to Replit and we're going to paste this in and get things started. And so while that's happening, guys, for you guys to actually see the value and how much this is making, obviously it says 87K a month in his bio, but you can actually see his journey and how he documents what's happening. Was able to generate an insane amount of money with this app. All right, guys, so we just got our first update back. I sent in a quick little prompt that you guys didn't see because the screen wasn't loading. It just sent a little error, but now we have, the application loading properly. So I'm just going to, see where we got so far, right? So cool. So now let's see what we got. So I'm going to click start game. So W and S is pitch up and down. AD is turn left and right. Okay. And B is shoot. So we're shooting. And as we're shooting, our health is going down. And okay, so it works a little bit. Aircraft has been shot down, so that doesn't really make any sense. So we're going to send in a couple of debugs. So we're going to say that, when I shot, the health went down and that the airplane wasn't able to take off the ground. So we're going to increase the height limits to 10,000 feet. And then we're also going to change some of the commands. And so right now it's telling us that we can go up and down with W and S and left and right with A and D, which is cool. But the actual airplane is not going up and down. That's just changing the directions of it while it's not in air. So we need to change a couple of things. I'm going to go game is loading correctly. So the game is loading correctly, but let's add some more features. We need the plane to have a speed button, which will be the W button. The up, down, left, right buttons should be the arrow keys. All right, so we're gonna send that prompt in. Okay, so we got an entire update back. So apparently now W is accelerate, S is decelerate. We have the new arrows to go up and down. Space is still shoot. So let's start the game. And W is to accelerate. And now we are flying a little bit and it's showing our altitude. Okay. All right. So now it's looking decent, but we now want to be able to see our airplane. So that's the next thing that we're going to add. So my health is also going down, but that also could be because there's other airplanes in the video game now that are shooting at me potentially. So I'm going to say that looks better. Now let's change the camera POV to the third person so the user can see the aircraft that they are flying. We'll just do one update here because we want to take things step by step now. All right, guys, newest update back. Took a while, took a definite little bit. Took about 13 minutes this time. So people talk about vibe coding. The reality is you need patience and high agency if you actually want to build something, because that just was the time that it took for the update to complete. Now what we have to do is actually test if like the update actually worked, right? So it takes a lot of patience, guys. It does take a lot of patience, but the crazy thing is that this is an actual reality. Like someone that doesn't know how to code can literally sit in front of a computer with high agency and just figure it out. And so that's exactly what we're doing. All right, guys, so now what's happening is very interesting. As you guys can see here, it says, let's generate the 3D aircraft, right? So since the POV was from the aircraft's POV, there wasn't an actual rendered aircraft that was built. And so now it's actually generating that 3D model for us. Now, there's a whole bunch of ways we can generate 3D assets. There's tons of new AI tools that are coming out that allow you to create 3D assets. But what we were really testing here is A, how far we can get just with Replit, and B, personally, I'm trying to learn all the different tricks to actually develop a 3D game, because this is also how I learn, right? We learn by doing. And so in the no-code world, the way that I'm progressing and getting ahead of everyone is by literally doing stuff like this, going all in with high agency, completely blind. And now through this process, I'm going to learn how to actually make a video game. All right, cool. And it's letting us preview the 3D model. So let's see what it actually built for us. This is pretty incredible. Let's open up this rendered model here. And holy shit, guys, I'm gonna bring this over to the screen so you guys can see this. Wow, look at this fucking fighter jet that it rendered for us. Here it is. Oops, here it is. Look at that. Look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. Wow. Okay, so hopefully it implements that as the jet in the game, because if it can actually add that as the jet in the game, that means the visual aesthetics of our video game is actually potentially going to look better than the Fly Peter. Because if we head over to Fly Peter, you guys will see that like the way that these airplanes look are very like, 2D looking. Like here, we go to the A10 Warthog. We can see that, the Warthog, it doesn't look the greatest, okay? So we're going to see if potentially this update, gave us a better looking airplane to play with. So now what it's doing actually is building a 3D attack helicopter in red with a main rotor and tail rotor with weapon hardpoints. That's very interesting as well. So we'll see what that cooks up as well. Okay, let's see what we got with the 3D attack helicopter. Ooh, guys, look at these renders. Holy moly, these both look unbelievable. Hopefully it actually looks like that in the game now. So looking at the fine text here, guys, it looks like there already is like enemy bots that the AI is adding to the game as well. Now we're going to turn this into a multiplayer game, but what's cool is that there's already some fake bots that we're going to be able to use to test our shooting, how the bullets are registering, how the health is being, diminished and eventually killing the enemy bots. And that will, hopefully transfer directly into that, how the interactions will work with multiplayer. And so I don't mind that for now, but in the future, we'll end up removing those bots. But that's really cool. And, paying attention to the agent chat here is really important, because as you guys can see here, right, last prompt was 17 minutes ago. And over those 17 minutes, it has told us a whole bunch of information. It has created the 3D fighter jet. It has created the 3D helicopter. It has created bots that are enemies. It has now changed the camera angle, hopefully, to show the actual aircraft that the user is flying. All right, guys, newest update after 20 minutes. We're going to now see where the camera angle is, if we can see our aircraft and all that fun stuff. So let's click start game. And we can see a little bit of our aircraft. Okay, so now let's start flying. It's decent. Now the camera angle is on the wrong side of the aircraft, and I can see that I'm slowly able to fly away from, I guess, what's supposed to be the city of Toronto. So that's a decent little start. I can also change the angle of the airplane so you can fly really, really high up. And okay, so it's a decent start. Now, what we want to do is we want the aircraft to change with the camera as we're moving. Right now, if I start this game and click W, the aircraft itself is actually staying in the middle of the screen, and everything else is what's being changed, right? So the camera angle needs to actually go with the airplane, not the surrounding environment. And so that's what we're going to add next. Okay, guys, so I said that looks good. Now we want the camera angle to be from behind the aircraft so the user can see in front of them. Also, we want the camera to move with the aircraft. We also want it to feel like the user is in the aircraft. So we want the aircraft to be closer to the camera. And so these are the updates that we're going to be sending in. And so what we're going to do again is we're going to go over to Levels.io. We're going to head over to his video game and we're going to take a screenshot of the POV that he's playing in, because the POV is what I'm trying to get the AI model to understand. A screenshot of the aircraft's POV, and we can now exit out of this game. We can go and grab that screenshot and we're going to drop that in and we're going to send in that prompt. All right, guys, newest update. So it says, I updated the camera position to create an immersive flight view, made player aircraft larger and more prominent in the view. Camera now stays behind the aircraft with view of the surroundings ahead. So let's see what we got. We're going to now click W. So I definitely do like the size of the aircraft and the quality of the aircraft. That looks awesome. And also it seems to be that the aircraft is now being moved instead of the environment. So now I can actually see where I'm headed. That looks really awesome. And I can also see that there's some bullets headed at me. That's all working really, really well. Now I'm going to actually take a screenshot of the game because I can't see in front of me. And so since I can't see in front of me, these helicopters are going to just absolutely cook me. Now, the other thing that's cool right now is I'm going hands off, right? The helicopter are actually trying to hunt me. Look at this. They're trying to kill me. Like, that's insane. So the actual enemy thing is working. Like, the helicopters are actually trying to kill me, which is fucking insane, guys. So there's tons of new updates that just came to my mind. We need to add a mini map so we can see where the enemies are. We need to see the entire map so we can know where the user is on the map. But before we do that, guys, we really want to focus on the camera angle. And so we're just going to make that a one prompt, right? We're gonna grab another quick screenshot. What we're gonna say is the aircraft size on the screen is amazing. Now, the camera angle is still showing the front of the plane, which is wrong. Please refer to the photo. We want the camera to be on the back side of the plane facing forward. Okay, we're gonna send that prompt in, see what happens. But before I say what I'm about to say, this is why I wanna build a game blindly first before I build a game for production that I actually wanna make money for, because I'm learning things. And so what I learned so far is that the Replit agent can create some very high level 3D elements. And so the next thing that I'm gonna try to do with this 3D element generator by Replit is to actually try and develop the city of Toronto. Because as you guys can see in the game right now, the city of Toronto looks very, very, very bad. Okay, so the app's loading right now, so I can't show you, but the city doesn't look good. It doesn't look real. And so potentially I can ask it to generate the 3D city completely from scratch. Now that might take half an hour, but it probably will be able to do it. So first off, let's see where the camera angle is. So again, the camera angle is still not there. So I'm just going to continue to prompt the model until this gets fixed, and we'll be back when that happens. Okay, so the AI's response on this newest prompt is pretty promising. So here it goes. I see the issue now. Looking at the new reference image, we need to position the camera in front of the plane, looking backward to see the fighter jet from the back with a view of the plane's rear thrusters. And so the image that I sent in has, you know, this nice little 3D view. And so this is a very high level 3D video game that you guys can see here. And potentially this is what we would want to evolve our video game to become. So thinking about where how far I want to take this video game, the idea that I have for this initial video game is a mix between the flypeter.com, Call of Duty, and the Hunger Games, because I think that would be really, really cool, where the users all start on their own airplane, and there's a map that they have to get to. And so the first part of the Hunger Games is that they're all going to fly and combat with each other to land on this map. And let's say it starts with 100 people. By the time they get to the island, there may only be like 50 people. And then they get out of their airplanes and they start a gunfight. That would be the dream. And so that's what we're actually going to try and develop after multiple episodes. Okay, so we got a new update. Let's see here. So it does look like the position of our aircraft is correct, but there's no bullets being shot. And when I click W as in going forward, it's actually sending us backwards. So I'm just going to explain that with the controls, but so far that update is exactly what we wanted. So now we can talk about this next prompt. So this next prompt is first going to be camera angle looks good now, but when I click W for accelerate, user goes backwards. when the user clicks S for backwards, they go forwards. So I'm really, really happy with that update though, guys, because now this looks really, really cool. Like, we have a legit airplane. It's just, literally the controls are in inverse now. So I'm literally clicking S to go backwards, and here we are going forward. So that's pretty interesting. But overall, this looks great. There's some bugs here where there's like this circle, like this black circle that appears every now and then, like you can see right there. And then also the city is very, 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 very glitchy. Now that we're flying and shooting, let's see if we're able to kill one of these helicopters. So let's go and find one of these attack helicopters and let's see if we can fuck them up. Actually, yeah, so before we worry about killing the bots, we're gonna have to fix the arrow keys, because right now I'm clicking left, that's going right. I'm clicking right, that's going left. So, okay, so I'm going to say W, S, and space are all working, but the up arrow is sending the aircraft down. The down arrow is sending the aircraft up. Please fix and add realistic physics to the game so the aircraft flight feels more realistic. And we're going to send that in. Good progression though, guys. Great progression. So let's see if all the controls are working properly. Oh, wow. Okay, so controls are much better, guys. So now we can actually see if we can start hunting some helicopters. So the physics are a little bit too crazy now. Like they're too difficult. So we're gonna say also add 100 targets around the map that the user can shoot at and destroy. Each target needs 5 bullets to destroy. Please implement and test. So I really don't like the way that I did the physics on this, because it's really difficult to fly this thing now. And it's not that it's difficult, it's just that it doesn't work correctly. Got our newest update. We're going to start the game, see what we got. Now the city itself looks really, really good, and it starts the plane at 600 feet altitude, which is interesting. So we're going to start flying here. And honestly, the physics look a lot better. We're flying quite well. Now, I don't like this circle thing, like this circle between night and day. I don't know what that is, but let's see if we can go and find the city now. So, okay, so the altitude is looking really good. So I'm going up and down and up and down, and you guys can see on the right-hand side, the altitude is actually moving quite well. So that's working well. Now, if we look back at the city, guys, we're going to get a nice little view here. But if we look back at the city here, it's starting to look a little bit better.